Good morning, Jess Sanders. Welcome to Yellow Shelf.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. It's your first time, but you are a seasoned author. Congratulations, your newest book, which I have a copy of, How to Have the Best School Year Ever. Congratulations. Tell us all about the book.
Thank you. Yeah, great to be here for the first time and hear about what you're doing. It's awesome. So the book, as is probably captured in the title, is about how to have the best school year ever. But it's not just for like little ones starting school for the first time. I wanted to make a book and a tool that could be used at the end of a school year to kind of like reflect on all the growth that happened, the ups and the downs, and to kind of yeah, kind of get a sense in real time of how growth happens at school and how much we grow just in a single year for a child. But also I wanted to like normalize the failures, the ups and downs, the challenges, and acknowledge that can be a part of a great school year too, that it doesn't have to be all perfect and A pluses, etc.
Yeah, and look, I'm a mother, so I have school children, one who's just started high school and one who's in sort of end of primary school. And yeah, I felt the same thing. It was a reflective piece for me as well to think, like you said, about um, schools are seasons and reasons. So sometimes it's fabulous, and then other times it's, that flow of ebbs and flows of sometimes tough, sometimes challenging, but obviously always learning, whether it's personal growth or learning in the school environment. Jess, like I mentioned, you are a seasoned author. You have produced so many books. You are a very successful author. Tell us a bit about you if we're watching and connecting for the first time.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, I've been writing books for about since 2019 was my first one was published. So yeah, about 6 years now. And I have about like 11 and 12 at the moment, but always working on some for the future and things, and that's really lovely. And I developed my first book as a Kickstarter, so to self-publish because I wanted a book that I really needed growing up. So that ended up being Love Your Body. So it was a book that normalized all the diverse female bodies and like cellulite and stretch marks, but also different heights, shapes, etc. And I wanted to kind of let young people, young girls really know that it was okay to take up space. So all the messages I wish I'd learned that I had to learn later in life, I poured into this first book. And then actually through the Kickstarter journey, which it did get funded, but then a couple of publishers found the book and it was kind of that proof of concept of
Yeah.
this is needed and the community wants it. And at the time, there wasn't a lot of nonfiction children's books in this sort of mainstream space. There are now, but it was kind of at the beginning of that. And yeah, so like I got a couple book deal in that process, and that was a bit of actually a bidding war, which was wild. And then it just sort of I stayed with not the publishing company, but the publisher themselves, Tash Besliev. So I followed her around to a different
Yeah.
publisher now with a firm press. But yeah, that's kind of how it started. And then it was just it's always come from this place of what do I wish I had heard growing up. And my mum, who's also a children's author, luckily enough, gave me some great advice. And she was like, just imagine like a young person's there and like you're speaking to them, what would you say? And as an eldest sister, like daughter, and the big sister, and I'm probably more of a speaker, ironically, than I am a writer. I found that really an effective method to kind of capture the voice and the tone in writing. So that's kind of how it all started and where they come from.
Yeah, look, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that journey because, you're young, you're passionate, you're certainly an advocate for all things well-being and health, as well as healthy living but keeping it real, like you said, that connection piece for you that you've written about what you would have liked. I think that's really powerful. If we're curious, if we're watching anywhere around the world, if we're curious about the current book or any of your, previous work, you've got a fabulous website. Point us in the direction of how we connect with you and the book.
Yes, so I've got a website which is just jesssanders.com.au, and I try to keep kind of updated links on where the books are and then in different countries because each book is a little bit different. Some are like I have quite a readership in Germany, for example, so you can find most of them there. Not this one just yet, for example. So it's a bit hit or miss. There are quite a few that are now available in the UK, and Love Your Body and Be Your Own Man from that backlist are there. And then for everyone else, like I love that my books are as much as I love independence and want to support them, I'm a social worker by background. Accessibility is really important to me. So they are in Big W, Kmart, and Target. Most of them will be there, and the new ones will definitely be there. And like they're quite affordable there as well, which is really nice.
Yeah, so true. Jess, you mentioned you would continue writing, so I'd love to have you back and keep supporting you as your books come out in the future. But enjoy this particular book. Thank you so much for sharing with Yellow Shelf.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Cheers.